Hey, what is up? Murray NJ08 with my continued E3 2019 coverage. This year, on my Murray Chat series, I am doing highlights and recaps and reviews of the press conferences and trailers and demos of E3 2019. And then, at the end of E3, I'm going to be having my full-length episode 2 of the Murray Chat podcast. So you definitely want to stay tuned because that's going to be a full-on depth highlight of all the shows at once. And then at the end, I'm going to go through every press conference and rate them from worst or least to best and who won E3 2019. That will be the big reveal of my podcast. You definitely want to watch that. But for right now, we're going to be doing Microsoft and we're going to be doing Bethesda. Then I'm going to be doing, after this, I'm going to be doing Square Enix and Ubisoft. And then I will be doing a wrap-up on the Nintendo Direct. You want to follow me on Twitter at SeanMurrayNJ because I will be tweeting live, up-to-the-minute information as I watch the press conferences live. You can interact with me, and I will be doing full coverage as I've been doing since the beginning of E3. And since the beginning of YouTube, I've been covering E3. Okay? So, another year, another week of madness, basically. And if you haven't checked out my recently posted previous E3 stuff, as far as Google Stadia and EA Play, go ahead and check that out. So, Microsoft kicked it off with the Outer Worlds gameplay demo, which is coming out October 25th. I'm really looking forward to that. That really has piqued my interest. World premiere. A lot of world premieres at the Microsoft press conference, which is awesome, which is what we want to see at an E3 press conference. World premieres are always a good thing. Microsoft has been delivering on them. If you remember last year, they definitely delivered on that. No different this year. So, world premiere Bleeding Edge by Ninja Theory, one of my favorite companies, developers. Will of the Wisps is coming out February 2020. We were wondering when that was coming out. It is a 2020 release date. We found a lot. So far this E3, we actually are filling up our calendar for 2020, which I figured that would happen. Minecraft Dungeons 2020. And Phil Spencer took the stage, showing 60 games today. More info on the new console. Cloud gaming will be talked about, so following Google. Later on, you'll find out that Bethesda also did that. So cloud gaming is definitely something that is talked about highly at E3. And everybody has their own spin on it. Again, on my podcast at the end of E3, I'll actually touch upon everybody's different version of it and give you a round review of what I think as a whole about the future and my predictions of cloud gaming. New trailer on Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. World premiere of Blair Witch. This looks really good. I was a big fan of that movie and the remake. I don't think they said it here, but maybe they did. But I was doing some research and I found out that it's coming out in August. I believe August 30th that's coming out. So very soon. End of the summer. Cyberpunk 2077 being shown, and now here's the highlight of the Microsoft press conference. Everybody's talking about it, and probably one of the biggest highlights of E3 history. It'll definitely go down. Keanu Reeves was shown as a character in the game, and then all of a sudden, right after, there was smoke on stage, kind of like reminded me of like how they revealed like the McLaren during the Forza presentation a couple years ago. And sure enough, Keanu Reeves was there. And crowd went nuts. Talked to audience, pointed to the audience. Do you want to hear a release date? Well, here you go. Pointed to the jumbo screen. Here it is. April 16th, 2020. So finally a release date. We've seen the packaging. They're doing CD Projekt Red is doing just like they did with The Witcher 3. They're going all out. Even their freaking standard edition looks insane. I'm definitely going to be doing that. I'll probably be doing a collector's edition and standard edition giveaway on the channel. So I'll be pre-ordering that. Words can't explain how pumped I am for this game. Before E3, I was pumped, but now it's like, whoa. I mean, Keanu Reeves. We got Norman Reedus in Death Stranding, and now Keanu Reeves in Cyberpunk. What's next? Florence Henderson in Halo? We'll have to have a hologram of her, I guess. Alright, so, yeah. Battletoads gameplay. I was waiting for this. ID at Xbox and Game Pass montage trailer. Get them at launch with Game Pass. So that looks pretty cool. There was a whole crap load shown there. You can probably go on Microsoft to get a list of that, what was shown. It was really fast. World premiere, Microsoft Flight Simulator. This is actually kind of crazy because I was very interested in seeing this coming to console. Back in the day, I was strictly PC. I used to build gaming PCs back in the day. And I always remember having a copy of Flight Simulator. And man, I remember always crashing them. But they were always fun to play. They were always interesting. And I remember always having people come over and being like, wow, this is really cool to watch. It was like a big thing. I used to have it on my old Tandy PC. And Flight Simulator brought back a lot of memories. And seeing it here coming to Xbox, that was pretty cool. I'll definitely be checking that out. Double Fine Productions joins the Xbox studio team. Tim Schafer takes the stage. Big fan of him. Monkey Island is actually one of my all-time favorite games. Dragon Ball Project Z shown. Oh, they showed Psychonauts too. Dragon Ball Project Z shown. That's got a 2020 release date. It's going to be a Dragon Ball RPG. World premiere of 12 minutes. An interactive thriller coming soon. But it's like, I'm really excited about this game. It's like a top-down view kind of game. Oh, man. It's almost like, I don't know. It's like this husband and wife talking, and then like some kind of like intruder comes in, and I don't know, man. But all I can tell you is this game has my interest. This looks very unique and very, very interesting, and it looks good. I like when games come out of nowhere and they really spike your interest and try to be different. And this game, 12 minutes, looks like that. Gears 5 finally got a release date. Gears 5 is coming September 10th. Not too bad. So between that and Borderlands 3, we're going to have a busy September. Biggest campaign ever. And this game looks really good. They showed off Escape, the mode Escape in Gears 5. And they showed off, I guess they're going to have the Terminator. I don't know if he's a pre-order bonus or a certain mode that's going to be in the game. But they talked about that at the very end. And they showed a decent amount off of the different modes in Gears 5. I know a lot of people were complaining about that. I know a lot of people were actually complaining, a lot of idiots, probably Sony fanboys. I mean, let's be honest. Probably bitter that Sony wasn't at E3, you know, trying to say, oh, this so-and-so conference so far was better than Microsoft's. Okay. And that Microsoft showed off a lot of cinematic trailers as opposed to gameplay trailers, in-game trailers, which, you know, has some truth to it, but a lot of what they said didn't make any sense. Their review of the press conference, it sucked. They already had that mentality in their head because they're either Nintendo or Sony fanboys. They can't be like me and love everything, you know? God forbid if you're a gamer. There's still this freaking console war bullshit. I can never understand that mentality. Even these big gaming journalists are like, oh yeah, the Microsoft press conference sucked. Okay. Dying Light 2 shown 2020. I love Dying Light, so I can't wait for that game. So, it looks like there's no Forza coming out this year. Forza Horizon 4 Lego expansion is coming. Now, I talked about this previously about how everything doesn't have to be an annual sequel. And that they should support existing games. 100% take the time. Work on a Motorsport 8. And here's the thing. Next gen is around the corner. So you know damn well Turn 10 is working on Forza for the next gen console for the Scarlet. Let's be honest. So I predicted this. I already said this was going to happen. I said, you watch, you're going to see something about Forza Horizon 4. They're waiting. When you get closer to a next-gen console, the big first-party games are going to be held for that. Exactly what's happening. Um, Phantasy Star Online 2 is coming. Free to play. 2020. So 2020 is looking up to be huge. I have a Evernote, which is an online note-taking app. And I started E3 with a very small 2020 list of what's coming. And so far during E3, it just like tripled. So 2020 is building up. And some games that we thought were coming this year, we're finding out that they're next year. Which is no problem because this year is going to be jam-packed. World premiere Crossfire X coming out in 2020. Borderlands 3 trailer shown. A different trailer. Free DLC is coming for the Handsome Jack collection. So I'll definitely be checking that out on stream because I'm doing a countdown to Borderlands 3. I'm going back. Right now we're on the pre-sequel. We're going to go and do Borderlands 1 and then Borderlands 2. And I'm doing the build-up right to Borderlands 3 on Twitch every week. So you definitely want to follow me for all your Borderlands coverage. World premiere of Elder Ring. October cloud streaming will be free. And they talked a little bit about xCloud. Basically what it's going to be is their version of what Stadia and a lot of these other companies are doing. I'll talk about it later, but Bethesda is actually looking into cloud streaming too, something called Orion. And I'm going to talk about this more fully in my podcast, but basically with xCloud it's pretty cool because you also have the option to stream locally from your downloaded games that are already on your Xbox. So as opposed to Stadia, which you don't own the game or don't have it stored locally, you have to stream from a far away data center where the game is stored on Google's servers in their data center, where you could be upstairs or down the hall or wherever and stream on a device, but right in your home console in your living room. So it's a lot less stressful and a lot less bandwidth streaming that way. So you have a little bit more options with Xbox, with their streaming service, which I think is pretty cool. It's kind of like the best of both worlds. So that's coming. And now, our next console. You knew this was coming. Let's talk a little bit about this. Because the console, of course, wasn't shown. It's still in project. You know when a console has the name Project, it doesn't have a full name yet. So it's Project Scarlet. Just like Project Scorpio. Same team that worked on the Xbox One X. And the Xbox One X, in my opinion, is a freaking beast. It is going to be running the AMD processors. The AMD chips. The future of gaming is here. 4 times the power than the X. Wow. GDR6, it's running. It's going to be capable of 8K, and it does have ray tracing. Solid-state hard drives, VR RAM, 40 times the load times. There's basically no load times. Seamless gameplay. Most immersive experience ever. Project Scarlet will launch holiday 2020. Ready? Launch title. The first launch title announced for the Scarlet. Holiday 2020. Halo Infinite. So that's going to freaking boost sales like crazy. 120 frames per second. Wow. There's a lot of questions to be answered, of course. There's a lot more information coming. I would imagine that next E3 is going to be just basically information on Project Scarlet. We're just probably going to get a shitload, see the machine, or before E3. And it's probably just going to be basically all launch titles, what's coming to the system. So you know next E3 is going to be just Project Scarlet, or whatever it's going to be called. But that's what we know so far. Again, there's still a lot of questions answered. You know, what about the optical drive? Is it going to be Xbox One compatible? Because we already know about the PlayStation 5, and that already has, the advantage. So it's got to compete with that if they were smart. Because we already know that the PS5 is going to be backwards compatible fully with PS4 titles. And that has the optical drive. And it does look like exactly the same specs as the PS5, so I would imagine that they're going to be pretty much going to be optical tech as far as very similar tech. It's basically just going to be, what exclusives are on what machine, but it looks like the tech is right there with each other. I expected the same, you know. Everybody is like so surprised at this, like, oh my god, it's like they read the PS5 specs. When have you really ever in a console generation ever, like the Xbox 360 and the PS3, or, you know, ever remember consoles being that dramatically different, or even the Xbox One or the PS4? I mean, they've always been in the general area, optimally the same as far as power. You know, and then you know what happens later on. Now, the PS4 Pro, the Xbox One X, they always have like an iteration in between consoles where like there's a more powerful version. You know that's going to happen a few years down the line, like 2023 or something. You know what I mean? So that's just the way that it is now. But more information hopefully on that console soon. I'm looking forward to it. I'll be buying it. I'll be getting Halo on that. Again, you know, we don't know how many of these 2020 titles are also going to be also on the Scarlet. Or if it's backward compatible, you know, and they're just enhanced, if it's even going to matter. You know what I mean? If Halo Infinite is also going to be on Xbox One, which I'm sure it is. I'm sure that those consoles will be supported for a while. All information that we're still going to find out that all leaves us wondering. Okay? But it is what it is. More information on that during my podcast. Let's get into Bethesda. Not too much here. Basically went into Bethesda knowing what to expect. Pete Hines took the stage, gave a speech. Todd Howard took the stage, gave a speech. Kind of talked about Fallout 76. Kind of talked about, you know, the fallout of Fallout 76 and all the criticism and all the idiots. I absolutely love Fallout 76. I've been absolutely enjoying the game. As you know, I was a big praiser of the game from the beginning. I play it a lot here on this channel. I have an ongoing series. I always stream it every so often. We build camps on there. You know, we have a whole clan. We have a team. We do all the roadmap events. I'm very current on Fallout 76. And now it's just pretty much getting better. And I'm so glad because they're really shoving it up people's asses. And I'm glad. And everything that the people said they had a problem with the game is now getting fixed. And good for them. And I'm so happy of the community. Exactly what they said here at this press conference about the community is what I've been saying here on YouTube for the longest time. The community is one of the best, one of the nicest people. They're really something. Like when they had that Mardi Gras Mask Festival a couple months ago, man, how nice the people were. And everybody gets together and gives you stuff for free and trades. And it's just a great, great community. The Reddit forums are very active with the game. And don't let people say, oh, this game is dead, because believe you me, the people that play it will disagree with you. And what they showed at this conference really, really proves that, basically. And they have a roadmap, unlike some games. And they're following, you know, they're actually, producing results with their roadmap. They're not canceling their roadmap and delaying stuff. So basically, Todd Howard takes the stage. Thanks for all of your criticism and helping us shape the game. Thank you for all the best online communities. And I put just like I said. Alright, so then they switched a little bit about Blades. And they talked about Blades, the online mobile game. It is coming to Switch in the fall. And it is going to be free. And if you place Blades on your phone, the progress will progress cross-save over to Switch, and you'll be able to use motion controls with the Joy-Con. So if that's your thing, there you go. I know a lot of people that follow me played a lot of Fallout Shelter. Alright, so back to Fallout 76. Wastelanders is coming, the next thing on the roadmap. Human NPCs are coming to the game. That's huge. I mean, that's silly to say, but it's huge for Fallout 76. Quest givers will also be NPCs, so that's big. Full dialogue trees, long-term stories, big changes coming this fall for free. And there's a free trial coming, so everybody can jump in and check out Fallout 76 and the changes that they've made so far. Nuclear Winter will feature 52-player Battle Royale. Every freaking game has it. Why not Fallout 76? Be interesting to see how this Battle Royale mode plans out. Maybe they'll have super mutants in it, you know, or Mothman. But I'll be definitely checking that out. But yeah, wow. The quest giver NPCs, that should be pretty interesting. That's going to really branch the game out big, depending on how many NPCs are getting out quests. That's going to add a lot. And I know people were saying, oh, how stupid. I can't believe that Bethesda had to mention NPC quest givers at a press conference. Yeah, but this is also Fallout 76. Yeah, but it should have had it from the start. Okay, but you complained about it from the beginning now, so now they have it. So now that you have nothing to complain about, you have to go to the next thing. Well, how come Todd Howard didn't come out in 3D in a hologram? You know what I mean? They'll just make up the next thing that they have to complain about. I can't stand... Those people should just go to an island and be gassed or something. You know what I mean? Like, they're already thinking of the next thing to complain about. They're never happy. They're never happy. Alright, so Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6 is being worked on. Todd Howard kind of just said it. Listen, a lot of people gave this press conference a lot of criticism, basically because they didn't show those two games. I knew they weren't gonna. Again, I believe these two games are being worked on for next gen. They're gonna skip this generation, Elder Scrolls, and you shouldn't have already had those expectations in your head going into this press conference. And if you didn't, then it wouldn't have been as, you know, bad. It's like people that like have these expectations and then they're let down. They hype themselves up too much, or they make these hyped videos like for a Nintendo Direct. Oh my god, we're going to see this, we're going to see that, we're going to see this. They pull it out of their ass, and then when they don't see it, they fucking bust on the company and they say, oh, this sucked. Yeah, because you hype yourself with non-realistic theories. You have to go into these press conferences being realistic, you know? So, if you did that, the press conference wasn't that bad. Oh, they should have just did a digital direct. They all could do that, really. They technically all could do that. Why not? Everybody else copies off of Nintendo. Tango's next game came out. Ghostwire Tokyo. This game looks really sick. This game looks really good. I'm super, super excited about that. Elder Scrolls Online. They had a huge segment about Elder Scrolls Online, so if that's your thing, dragons, and more dragons. That's all I gotta say. New content coming. Biggest online game. More servers are being added. Huge community. And it's true. There is, and I do go back to that game from time to time. I'm actually going to be going back to that game again soon on my channel. So if that's your thing, more Elder Scrolls Online on Maria and J08 for sure. I've actually been playing a lot of Skyrim handheld on my Switch. Wolfenstein Cyberpilot VR coming July 26th. New content coming to Rage 2 this week. New vehicles, mechs, locations, weapons. I love Rage 2. I've been streaming that a lot. Rage 2 is awesome. Also, Wolfenstein Youngblood coming this summer. Biggest game yet, and it's going to feature co-op. Gameplay was shown. Deathloop, world premiere. I put looks sick. Mind-bending story. Arcane signature gameplay. So like, Dishonored. So that looks really good. We are the first to bring mods to consoles, and we are the first-person shooter creators. Wolfenstein. Man, do I remember that. Best that ever lived, I put. And it's fun, they showed a little montage, and they showed this guy saying, yeah, I remember going to my friend's house, always wanting to play Doom. That kind of reminds me of me, but it was my friends coming to my house to want to play Doom. I used to actually build PCs. I actually used to build network servers where we actually used to build our own clans and play Quake and Unreal Tournament. But I do remember my friends always coming to my house because it was like, I had a PC, and back in the day it was like, oh my god, what is this? Having a PC in your house was like cryptic, was like freaking unreal. Like they would come to here and see my PC, my big floppy drive, and be like, whoa. And when I got a color monitor, that was like mind-blowing to them. When I got a sound card with Sound Blaster and a CD-ROM, people's heads were spinning. And they would just come over and they would play Doom. And they would be like, what is this? I remember when I was on a BBS server, way before the internet, we used to have these things called BBS servers on a 14.4 modem. Dial-up. Used to take my parents' phone lines for the day, and I downloaded Doom, and I remember it was shareware, and the graphics, and I was like, oh my god, I was mind blown. Same with Wolfenstein, and I don't know, I played for freaking hours and hours, and then it was like, you'd have to buy the individual levels, and it was something I'll never forget. But that's what I liked about this montage. It was kind of like brought back a lot of memories. It really did. It brought back a lot of good memories. Then they talked about Orion streaming. Works with any game engine. They talked about xCloud and Stadia compatibility. Max settings they're talking about, even with bad internet connections and faraway data centers. So kind of like what xCloud is doing. I guess we'll hear more information about it. Then they showed Doom 2016 play on somebody's phone using Orion, and it looked fluent. It looked fast. I didn't see any lag. Doom Eternal was being shown. Full gameplay they showed. Full demo. That was the highlight of the show. That's pretty much how the show ended. November 22nd, and then they showed multiplayer, which the multiplayer mode is called Battle Mode. And that's it. That was the wrap-up. So, yeah, pretty good. I thought Bethesda did good this year. The thing is with Bethesda is that I appreciate that they have a conference every year. And I think, you have to go into the Bethesda press conferences knowing that you're not going to be blown away. And I think if you do that, I think that it's a pretty good conference overall. And I thought what they showed was good. And basically, people came to this press conference to see Doom Eternal, and that's exactly what they got. That really was the highlight of the show. I knew I wasn't going into this press conference to see Elder Scrolls 6. I don't even think that's anywhere near done. And I think when we do see it, it's going to definitely be on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Scarlet. So we got a ways yet. Starfield, I think we got a ways yet. So we got to look at what's coming. And that's pretty much Doom Eternal. Wolfenstein Youngblood, and we do have some new IPs coming out pretty soon, and those new IPs look really good. And, if the mobile thing or, Elder Scrolls Online or Fallout 76 wasn't your thing, then I could see how it kind of, dragged a little. But overall, I think it was a decent conference. Again, when I do my E3 podcast, I will be rating all of the press conferences and giving everything a rating from the least to the best and see who won E3. But I gotta tell you, I'll be honest, so far Microsoft is up there. I know they did pretty good last year if you watch my E3 review. And Microsoft's been killing it lately. And again, Sony not being there, that's kind of a bummer. And I knew going into E3 that Microsoft knew this and Microsoft was going to go full barrel knowing this. They were going to go in for the kill. Where they were going to go after the no-shows. Can't wait for the Nintendo Direct on Tuesday. Let's see what Ubisoft and Square Enix has. And then I'm going to do a wrap-up on the podcast. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining my highlights and recap. And I'll see you on the next E3 2019 video.